I saw a post that a person said, fuck the sex. I just want to lay up and be held by somebody and to be touched. And someone reposted it or shared it, and their caption said, fuck that. I agree with the end of it, but the beginning of it, meaning, you gotta have the sex. While I love sex, I love having sex, I love making love, I love fucking, I love it. It's a beautiful thing when you do it with someone who you're on a similar wavelength with. There is the utmost of respect and admiration and desire to please and, all the good vibes. It's a beautiful thing. And it's so many magical things you can do with sex and connecting with someone on such an intimate, emotional, erotic, pleasurable, spiritual level when it's used as intended. Even when it's not even used as intended or on that higher level, even if it's just a good fuck, like a good fuck is good, you know what I mean? Long as it's healthy. But as a person who offers therapeutic touch, I think that it's very important to enjoy just touch as well. It's okay not to want to engage in sex. It's okay to just give touch and the intimacy of that companionship its time and its being between two humans. It's also very powerful. It's also very healing, and also so much can be done as far as manifestation when engaging in positive touch, good touch, consensual touch. I think it's also important to be at a level in your walk in life that you can be so very close and intimate with someone by cuddling with them and having deep embrace, lying down and wrapping our legs and arms around each other in deep embrace. It is something also very powerful about being able to do that and not physically having sex. While it could be in your mind, it could be in your feeling and your sensations, but even to get to a point where you can chariot that, you can be the charioteer and take the reins of all of those things in the realm of sex and eroticism and pleasure and that type of physicality. Being able to rein them is quite a powerful thing, to acknowledge the healing of the touch and just the tightness, the embracing, the closeness, just the sheer intimacy of human on human, heart on heart, brain to brain, electromagnetism, I don't know if that's even a word, electromagnetism, we're going to say it, but you know what I mean? Just having that time of that electromagnetic exchange is something very powerful of being in that space. And again, allowing your higher person, your higher self, to put the reins on sex. We can always do that. We can do that. But sometimes you do just need to be held. You just need some positive touches, some embraces, some gentle massages, or maybe even some deeper massages. We just need that touch. I mean, that's just like when you go to a masseuse. They are there specifically for that touch. Can that shit make you horny? Oh, yes. I get horny during a massage sometimes. But that's not the space for that. This is now time for the healing power that the touch and the force of the touch and the area of the touch is providing for my body and my muscles and my cells and my lymphatic system and my electric system and all the systems of my body. You know what I mean? We can always get to sex. But there is a magic area. There's magic manifestation, I believe, in respecting positive touch minus the physical act of sex. And I just wish people could know that. I wish people could experience that. Especially people who have experienced sexual abuse at some point in their lives, especially early in life. Because a lot of times sex then dictates lots of areas in that person's life, in many areas for some people. And unfortunately, for other people, all areas of their life. And it's a dysfunction. They have a sexual dysfunction, whether that is hypersexuality, even to the point of forced sex, sexual assault and rape, molestation and things of that nature, or a person who is a sex addict and they can't have worthy relationships because they just cannot not have consensual sex. They just have to have it. Or, all the way on the end of the spectrum to people who do not or cannot have sex. It is painful. It is physically painful. It is emotionally painful. They just can't desire it, or even when they desire it, they cannot achieve orgasms or, the higher pleasures of sex. So with all of the sexual dysfunction that people experience because of being a victim of sexual violence, sexual assault, being taken advantage of in that way, sex oftentimes, or for some, just hasn't always been in healthy situations and healthy relationships with people that they should truly give such a beautiful and spiritual and sacred thing to. So it's power in the touch. It's power in just the touch, A lot of people, a lot of us have had to learn how to properly engage in intercourse, because there is a right way and a wrong way to do things. And of course, there are levels. We all are on different levels. But I can remember being on the levels. I've been on levels when it comes to sex. I've been on levels where I have been a person who didn't truly love myself and see the beauty in myself and necessarily treat myself in a way that was exactly loving and nurturing. And I have engaged in sex being in that frame of mind. I chose partners who reflected that kind of energy, and I end up scarred in a way from that experience in some kind of way. And that's unfortunate. Wow, I just had a realization of my character. That's exactly who and where she was. And that's, yeah. But anyway, I now would like to offer a reading now. And this reading is themed around actually this is perfect because I performed a ritual during the blood moon a couple weeks back, and I chose cards for that ritual that I performed. And I pulled 3 cards and I let them sit and was going to read them at a later time. And this is my first time back at my cards since that day. And looking at these, it is absolutely fitting with what I am talking about right now. And it resonates. It resonates with what I'm speaking of right now. Starting with the Chariot. You heard me say that. You heard me say that earlier on while I was talking, in terms of charioting our sexual urges and the desire to engage in sex, specifically during close, intimate times, and not allowing those. Well, you heard what I was saying. I'm not going to get back into that. We're going to focus on the cards. But we have the Chariot. We have the 2 of Swords and the 2 of Cups. And without reading in my book, just from I'm seeing and I'm interpreting from this is, I already mentioned when talking about this subject earlier, the Chariot, and how it's important to be the one in, I don't like to use the word control, for lack of a better word, I'll say control that I can think of right now, lack of a better word I can think of right now. And I'll find that, and hopefully by the time I edit this, I'll have pieced in a word. But being in control, if you look at the Chariot card, we have the charioteer, you would say. And that's the person controlling whatever is pulling this vehicle. And I feel like being able to control sexual energy, harness sexual energy, and purposefully use it, willfully use it on purpose, very intentionally, very purposefully, that puts the person controlling the chariot in such a powerful position, because now you can go wherever you want to go. You can go wherever you want to go. You can steer in whatever direction you choose. And the goal, I think, by just looking at this chariot person with this, the stars above their head, I feel like they'll be divinely guided as long as they can keep in control whatever is pulling the vehicle. As long as they can keep in control the horses, as long as they can keep in control whatever animal is pulling, whatever energy is pulling. And the animal is sex. The sex is animal. Sex is very primal. Sex is and I think that's why we love it so much, because it's so animalistic and it's so primal and, just like, fuck me, fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I'm gonna fuck this shit. Oh, yes. It's messy and it's wet and it's just like tiring and makes you breathe hard and you sweat and oh, you're pulling hair and you're slapping perhaps. And it's just very fucking primal. And that's exactly what it represents in this card here at this time. But if you can be in control of the animal, then you can go anywhere. It will guide you anywhere, take you anywhere. You know what I mean? But if you don't have control, then it's going to take you wherever it wants you to take you. In fact, it could get real rough and, you know, the motherfuckers may, you know, make your chariot tumble over and some shit. You fucking collide and now you are in danger. And I think that happens so often when we're in unhealed states sexually, when we're in unhealed states physically in our bodies, you know what I'm saying, in terms of how we view ourselves and how we treat ourselves, thus allowing other people to treat us, then it becomes dangerous. Sex is dangerous when we're operating from, it can be very dangerous when we're operating from an unhealed place. Specifically, or even more so, I should say, when that unhealed space is from a sexual point of view. Or not. But either way, when we're operating oftentimes from an unhealed state and we're allowing sex, the animal, to be in control of the chariot, we're putting ourselves with the potential of harm and sometimes catastrophic harm. So, you know, we have to be in control. Then we have here the Two of Swords, and looking at this card, I see this person blindfold and they have their arms crisscrossed across their chest and they're holding their swords. They're upright. We have a crescent moon. I'm not sure if this is waxing or waning. I want to say that it's, I'd have to look into that. And, but whatever phase it is in, it's apparent that there is a phase of the moon behind us. The waters are calm. We look like we're gaining control. It looks like we're working on gaining control. It looks like this person is in a meditative state. Water, this water present is, this water is symbolic of the emotions and where we are with that. And maybe we are working to calm the waters. The swords represent the mental, you know. So just straight up, this person is in a very intentional position with their swords on either side of their head, meaning a balance in the hemispheres of the brain. And I need to get in control. And that's why meditation is very important, because it helps while we're out here navigating in life. Because it's easy to get thrown off. It's easy for the chariot to just be like all over the fucking place, about to have us colliding and shit. But when we are making sure and being very intentional about keeping our mental on a balance, keeping our mental intentional, and working on that and just keeping that where it needs to fucking be, then it makes the navigation in life much easier, much doable, much more doable. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then moving on to another number 2, we have the 2 of Cups. And this is a beautiful thing because now this looks like some fucking friendship, balance of the selves, the balance of the masculine and the feminine energy, exchanging in these emotions, exchanging in these waters. And we have this divine healing above us. We have this protective, angelic fucking bringing this union, specifying that this union is sacred. It's good. It's fucking good. It's fucking good. And we right at the house. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look back there, that look like, it's a house over there. It's like residential. You know what I'm saying? Like right where we are. Like we're not out in the world. We are in a comfortable space in life. And we're making our exchanges. We have an exchange. We have a positive flow. We both have our mentals where it needs to be. Tools are dualistic, you know what I mean? And we jumped over from getting our minds right on a personal level with ourselves so that we can move into where it's a union and it's a harmonious fucking union that's divine and blissed and blessed and sacred. So we have to know how to get through touch and touch alone without it always having to be about fucking. Because there are people who live in that state of be. I can't lay up and cuddle with you and not fuck. That's not real. That's very unrealistic. But of course, we have levels to this, and not all of us are on the same level. But I desire for people to rise to the level where you are in that healed space. You are healed. You are healed enough to where I can lay beside you and not make it about having sex with you. I can just enjoy you as a human being in close proximity, and touch is always very pleasurable and comforting and lets me know that there is love right here, this close to me. It's not just me and the world. This is a time. Therapeutic touch is a space to regard another human, just being another human. We're just here with each other, and we're comforted by the fact we're in this big, huge world full of billions of people. There are billions of scenarios going on right now. There are billions of atrocities going on right now. There are billions of all types of every fucking thing going on right now. And just thinking of that raises my anxiety. Just thinking of that just makes me, anxious to, the world is fucking crazy. But when I can just be in the presence of another person in close proximity, it's just a reminder that I can breathe. I can take it easy. There's love present. There are people who care. And I can just stop and I can just be. I don't have to do anything. I can just be comforted through touch. I can just be comforted through being held. Because touch is very important. We come into this world needing touch. We need it. And when we don't receive it, it leads us into dysfunction. And then on some levels, it leads to death. Because babies would die if they don't get the touch. It's only so long a new baby would live if you just fed it and then put it down and didn't hold it, didn't embrace it, didn't comfort it so that it can go to sleep, so that it can just be and look around and try to move and, gain control of its little body. It's only so long that baby would live. And if that baby lives having no touch or very little touch, that baby now grows up into dysfunction. That's part of what's wrong with, I think, what is a part of what's wrong with this world. Because so many children have been void of positive touch starting off. So they started off life in a dysfunction. Take it to another fucked up level is the introduction of touch for many children was perverted through dysfunctional sex, right? Looping right back around to sex again, to that end of the spectrum where someone is completely out of control of the reins. And now this child has grown into a person who has gone on either side of the spectrum. They turned out to be what they were a victim of, or they turned out to be where they can't control it. You know, they're hypersexual, or they turned out to be, you know, they can't even engage in it. They can't be touched, and they can't be healed in a way that is eccentric, in what is the word? Is natural for us. It is natural. It is an what's the word? Can I look it up while I'm recording? Let's see. Intrinsic. Is that what I said? Intrinsic. Anyway, but it's intrinsic. That is a part of who we are. It is naturally essential to have positive touch in our lives. And, you know, you can seek it if you need it. And that's all I'm saying. If you don't have it and you need it, I got it. I got that. And I have a listening ear. I have just the presence and the companionship. And that's what my service offers. Just a space to be. Just to say a space that is pure, a space that is sacred, a space that is honoring of who you are, and a space to just simply be and to be nurtured or to nurture. Because sometimes you just want to hold somebody else. Sometimes you just need to do the hugging and do the holding. And I'm here for that. So I'm going to conclude on this for today. Know your power. Know your power so that you can own your power and operate in your power.